The college football experience week 3 reaction show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. Use the promo code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on football. It doesn't matter, pro or college. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code SGP. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use the promo code CFBX on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app. Use that promo code CFBX for $20 off. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play Underdog Pick'em in college or NFL. Win up to 20 times the amount of money you enter in one game. Use the promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. And finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use the promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience week 3 reaction show. It is the wee hours of the night if you're listening on the East Coast, 2:30 in the morning when we're just getting started, but that's what we do. We stay up late. I already told my wife, honey, it's going to be a late night. It's going to be a very late night because games aren't ending. They're just not ending. All right. You try to do the running clock, still 35-hour games, and it's fantastic. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. The fuck, I can't see pollen. And let's get the fuck out this country, mother.
Oh, buddy. I mean, look, people talk shit about the schedule for week 3. I'm just going to go ahead and say there was better games today than last week.
There it is.
Not necessarily better matchups, but there were better games. Like all these crazy games were happening today. I thought at least.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of usually you say, this is the type of week where those big upsets happen when, you don't have top teams playing top teams. There's a lot more chance for a little team to play and beat a big team.
Yeah.
Because there are more of those games. But today did not disappoint in that regard, at least from like a competitive standpoint for a lot of the day. Yeah, you're right. You're right, man. It was a fantastic day of football, and we're excited to talk about it all. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be. Hi-oh. Let's go, buddy. You guys notice a little sniffle here. Got some allergies. Got some allergies. I mean, first thing I'm going to deduce from today. No one's good in college football. Yeah, certainly the usual suspects all have, and anyone we projected to be good, all have some serious question marks. We already knew that, but it was evident today.
I mean, who's the best team in the nation? Is it,
well, let's go from top to bottom. Is it Georgia?
No.
They were down a lot of the game.
Played anybody good
to an unranked South Carolina
1-2. South Carolina has one win over an FCS.
Yeah. Is it Michigan?
They haven't played anybody.
Struggled.
I don't know if you know this, but ECU's 0-3, and that was supposed to be the best team that they played in their non-con.
Right. Yeah. Bowling Green, a 25-point. They do the same thing every week. What are the scores of Michigan's?
It's all stupid. It's all so stupid. They should be playing UCLA this week. But my point is that
Florida State struggled with Boston College.
Florida State looked like shit today.
Texas struggled with Wyoming.
I got a lot to complain about in that game.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Because Florida State wins 31-29. I know there was a couple players out for the Seminoles, but I just have a little bit of a problem, and maybe the chat can help me here. Okay, so it's a pivotal second down. Boston College is trying to get the stop that they need. Obviously, the face mask happens, and that's a face mask on third down. But on second down, we're under 2 minutes, and the running back for Florida State runs out of bounds on his own will.
Yeah,
right. It's like a sweep to the top of the screen. He runs out of bounds, and the clock keeps running
with under 2 minutes left.
That's where I'm confused. Now, like I said, I understand there was a face mask the next play, but guess what? BC then Florida State would have had a first down, and there would be 35 seconds more on the clock.
Right.
I thought this rule, and this is weird for me, because if this is so, it's a running clock when you go out of bounds, even under 2 minutes, because I thought it was under 2 minutes.
Not be.
That's what I'm saying. So I watched the game later in the day where the guy goes out of bounds and the clock stops.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like an option. Do you want the clock to stop?
Why would Boston College say no?
No, I mean, it would be the offense's option, I guess. If you're I don't think that's the rule. I don't think that's the rule. I think it's probably just
Ryan Hesty in the chat saying the clock should stop under 2 minutes. So go watch the final 2 minutes of the Boston College game. At 1 minute and 50 seconds left, that guy runs out of bounds
on Florida State.
And that's a second down. It was like a 2nd and 8, right? He gets like a 2-yard gain, and the clock runs. And these fucking announcers that don't know what the hell they're talking about, which I will say also the Colorado State game.
Yeah.
But no one brings it up. No one. They're just sitting there saying, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, wait, what's going on here?
How are we missing this massively important aspect of the game that is blatantly obvious?
Yeah, like he runs out of bounds. They didn't even say like, "Oh, he's a fool for running out of bounds." They're just like having a fucking conversation. Florida State wins, Patty C, and I know they had a couple guys out, but that was their first road game all year. I'm not buying in. Yeah. I'm not buying in. Now I know they survived a scare,
right?
But I think BC's the worst team in the ACC. Well, no, Virginia's the worst team, the second worst team in the ACC.
Although Virginia Tech is vying for that spot too. Virginia Tech got rolled by Rutgers.
Yeah, I still think Virginia Tech's probably better than BC. I mean, BC lost to Northern Illinois. They should have lost to Holy Cross last week.
Fair.
Holy Cross's running back was averaging 7 yards a carry on BC.
Sure. I'm not vouching for. I'm just saying Virginia Tech's not good. I'm not saying Boston College is
am I
good.
overreacting by saying like now I'm off Florida State? Like before I was like they might be the best team in the nation after the LSU game, but now I'm like
I don't think you're overreacting at all. I think
it's their first road trip.
Championship resumes don't really have even a scare like that from a bad team typically. I mean, I guess I don't know.
Clemson's had some
maybe
blunders.
They do. Maybe they do, but Boston College is particularly bad.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is I watched Holy Cross get like 7. Saluka was averaging I think 8 yards a rush, but their running back I think had 7.8 yards a rush last week. So I'm like, how the fuck is that happening?
Hey, and you know what? I saw a problem for Florida State rear its ugly head again. Dropped passes. Look, you have to be sharp. You know, you can't be sloppy. You do that in a big game. I mean, if you're playing like you did against LSU and you're not, and that problem isn't popping up, even though it did a couple times, they mostly played pretty darn well against LSU.
Yeah.
You play sloppy against a good team, you're going to lose. You know, I don't care how talented you are.
The chat was talking. We're going to talk Colorado in a second, but Nicholas said, "Why does Colorado get the ball to start both overtimes?" I believe by them saying they want the ball on offense first.
Yeah, they deferred.
They basically
the decision to the second overtime to Colorado.
And I think
State.
that's how that happened.
And Colorado State, being a normal team, decided to go second.
They work for Colorado. Yeah. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but Patty C. So I mean, we almost saw a lot of upsets today. But Florida State squeaks by Boston College. They're at Clemson next week. I wasn't really I actually was prepared to take Florida State, but now I don't think so. Like And
the home field advantage. I mean, Clemson's righted the ship over the last 2 weeks. Florida State probably has a talent advantage. Jordan Travis, do we know? I mean, we're kind of doing.
No, he played the rest of the game. He came back. Yeah. So but he always does that to himself. I almost tweeted that out. I caught. He plays recklessly. He's a very good player, but he plays recklessly where he can get himself dinged up all the time.
Yeah.
LSU waxed Mississippi State. I did lock that one up in the morning. Mississippi State, they had 7 yards through 3 quarters. Maybe you don't ditch the fucking air raid. I mean,
LSU is looking good again.
No, that's something that I think we should talk about is how Mississippi State and Wisconsin I gotta talk about that Wisconsin game, but yeah, LSU did look good. I think
we may look back at the end of this year and say LSU let Florida State, take something from them that they shouldn't. That goal line stop at the beginning. Great. Florida State's defensive line got a lot of penetration.
Well, and LSU still hasn't learned because even today they had a 4th and inches and they're still in the gun. Drives me fucking crazy. Now they got the first down, but still. Shout out to LSU. Nice win there. Mississippi State, I think, is not going to be very good this year.
The SEC is not going to be.
The SEC's ass. Yeah. Let's just be honest.
Yeah,
we're going to go game by game. Wake Forest down 17-0 at halftime. Dave Clawson gets it done. 27-7 run in the second half, and somehow Wake Forest beats ODU. Shout out to CJ Sullivan though, who was on ODU in the points.
Nice call. Both starting running back and starting quarterback for Wake Forest from Ashburn, Virginia.
Oh, I didn't realize the running back was okay. Yep. We had a shocker in the Iowa State Ohio game. This was a shocker on many levels because Ohio beats Iowa State, but also it looked like Iowa State made a field goal that the ref said was not good. Did you see this?
I did not.
You gotta look on.
Pull that.
Go to TCE Twitter.
TCU Twitter.
TCE Twitter.
Oh, TCE Twitter. Yeah. Okay, I'll get it pulled up. Not right now.
So essentially, Iowa State makes a field goal in the 4th quarter. Now, I'll be honest. From the field, it looked like it just went over the top.
Yeah,
and you're just I don't know. But when they show the goalpost underneath, oh, he made it.
Oh wow!
But they ruled it.
Wow.
I don't know. I want you to watch it because maybe am I the maniac? Am I a maniac, folks?
That seems important.
No, that game would have went to overtime.
Yeah. Oh, so it was the
in
last
the 4th.
play?
No, it was in the 4th quarter, 6 minutes left or something. Okay. But
yeah,
I thought he made the field goal.
Interesting. Maybe you're just worried that your Iowa State over isn't going to hit.
Oh, I didn't lock that. When that gambling shit happened, I didn't touch that.
Yeah, smart.
I saw people calling for Matt Campbell's job today. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck. Look, they're going to suck this year because the roster got depleted in August, and even with the some of those guys that were going to be key players, they were still not going to be contenders for the championship.
And you took a road trip to play a MAC.
Yeah.
Championship
team that won
level
10 wins last year.
Yeah, you are asking for it. We fire the athletic director who scheduled that game.
I actually like when they go on, and this is a classic example. Let's teach class a little bit, Patty C.
Oh, of course you love it, but
but you saw Wake Forest squeak by a shitty Old Dominion team.
That
right?
was in
Old Dominion. Yeah. We saw obviously Texas Tech lose in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Right. We've seen. I feel like there's other ones that have happened this year. I'm just drawing a blank. But Ohio can be on that list now. They beat a Power 5, and I feel like more oftentimes than not, if you go play these teams on the road, you will lose.
Yeah. Especially good ones.
Louisville was up 21-0 and almost lost to Indiana, or almost. I shouldn't say lost. Indiana almost tied it up. They had a 4th and goal that they missed. But Louisville continues my Cardinals continue to fly high.
The overrun. Did we have a lock battle on that one?
I think we did.
I think we had a lot. I think it's 8.5, maybe
3-0.
Hey, ride it well. It's good. At the end of that schedule gets tougher.
Who do we got next? Boston College. 4-0. Actually, I guess BC. I think BC gave him a game last year. Okay, this is one of the most frustrating games.
What is that BC? Is that always the week following 9/11 that they do that for Wells game? Where they with red bandana?
I think so, man. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta get us paid, but I want to talk about the most ridiculous game of the day. Folks, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by DraftKings. Yes, football is back in full swing with another week of epic games. And who's got you covered on the action for every single one of them? DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the National Football League. New customers can bet $5 on football and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Get in on the NFL Week 2 action or college football Week 4 action coming. Download the app now. Use the promo code SGP to sign up. New customers can bet just $5 and take home $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code SGP. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and take specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite event should not be that stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all things basically going on in your town: sports, music, comedy, whatever, theater, any of that stuff near you. Game Time's got you covered. And look, with killer deals on last minute tickets, their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll be having at that very event. Download the Game Time app. Use the promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, terms apply. Create an account. CFBX is the code you want for to redeem $20 off. Download the Game Time app. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, we are back on the college football experience. You know what game pissed me off the most out of any of these games?
What's that?
Wisconsin should have lost to Georgia Southern. I don't know that I can ever recall a time where a team won by 21 where a team should have lost.
Davis Brin.
I know you made a case for Michigan against TCU, but see, TCU had to lead the whole game. Georgia Southern had the lead in the second half.
Yeah.
Davis Brin, the amount of turnovers in general, but the amount of red zone, like they drove 90 yards down the field, and it's like, oh, interception,
lawn chair,
interception, fumble, interception. I mean, let me tell you something. Wisconsin sucks. Buffalo got waxed again today. Wisconsin struggled with Buffalo week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, they blew it open, but they struggled for a longer time than I thought. Wazoo beat them down. They never had the lead against Wazoo. They win by 21 against Georgia Southern. If people didn't watch this game, they're going to think Wisconsin was great.
Yeah, they figured it out.
I'm fading the fuck out of them the rest of the year, man. This team's not that good. This team is not impressive to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's an experiment, I guess, for Fickell to be trying to blend his defensive approach with the air raid. You know,
I mean, they made the turnovers, so Wisconsin defense still lived up to it in a way. But I mean, that was, to me, I mean, what I want to look at the stats on this game. Okay, so the turnover battle, I think, was, so they threw 5 interceptions and they had 1 fumble, 6-0. That's what lost them the game.
Yeah.
Georgia Southern had more yards. Now it was actually pretty even yards wise, but 6 turnovers is the difference.
Yeah.
That game. So here's why it was super frustrating, because I had Georgia Southern plus 20.5. The fact, it's one thing to lose the game, but like in a game where I felt like they kind of like, if you threw away the score and you just watch the plays of the game, I think you would say Georgia Southern's better team. Yes. So, okay, you lose the game. That happens all the time for the team that might look better.
Yeah.
But to not cover 20.5, fucking insane. Fucking insane.
The gambler in you is,
I hate Davis Brin.
Yeah.
I hated him when he folded up with Tulsa when they could have beat Cincinnati, a top 10 Cincinnati team, and he slid instead of going for the touchdown at the 1 yard line. Oh my God. And hey, Clay Helton, maybe try a different fucking quarterback. All right. On his 5th interception, you're like, no, we're just going to keep bringing him out.
Well, I can relate as a UVA fan with Calandria on Friday night. 3 consecutive passes were interceptions. Hey, and then he fumbled the ball the following possession. Take the guy out, and look, yeah, at some point, do the old Spurrier. Yeah. And the irony, oh no, he was at Tulsa before.
Yeah.
Spurrier Jr. was the
oh man. Shout out to the chats talking about it. So look, shout out to Nicholas Colby, was spot on the Wisconsin preview. And look, I know Shane's hurting. The Wisconsin game was so brutal. It was. We were on the right side. We were definitely on the right side. Shout out to this guy, man. Won $2,000 off a 6-pick parlay. Let's go.
Boom.
Oh, that game was so frustrating. I can't believe that didn't hit plus 20.5. Like, I cannot believe that didn't hit.
Brutal.
Penn State gets it done against the Illini. They even cover because Illinois goes for 2. If you would have got the line early, that would have been a push, but Illinois went for 2, didn't get the conversion. Penn State lives on. Patty, see, that was like Penn State's second toughest road test of the season. So it's a nice win for Penn State. Drew Aller's first win on the road.
They got to go to Ohio State in a few weeks. Ohio State turned it on in the second half offensively.
That was one of my locks.
Ohio
State minus the points. That was an easy play. You know they were doing a sympathy play for Youngstown because Tress is there.
I don't know.
They do it every time.
Yes, probably that, but I just don't know that Ohio State, when they did turn it on, and look, Henderson looked fast. They are probably pretty good offensively. They probably figured it out and got it going, but it still took.
Western Kentucky's in the hundreds every year in defense, so don't read too much into it.
Who do you got in that game right now? Penn State going to Ohio State.
Ohio State. Okay. Now I do have Notre Dame beating Ohio State though. Right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, but I would agree that Notre Dame looks like a better team than Penn State right now. So, and Notre Dame gets them at home. College game day there next week.
And it's not like Penn State. Did you watch? Watching the game today, I know Penn State seemed like they were always in control, but I wouldn't say they dominated still. No. The craziest, maybe one of the crazier games of the day was Kansas State, Missouri.
That was a very good game.
Seemed like Drinkowitz almost got himself fired for getting a delay of game on a 56-yard field goal. This game was absolutely hilarious. I knew this line smelled. I didn't bet this game personally, but remember preseason, I called for Missouri to win this, but I did on the pick show, Wednesday and this morning. I said, no, I'm going to take K-State. And honestly, I think K-State probably
should have won.
Ben Sinnott had a crucial drop on a third down that would have not only got K-State in the field goal range to win the game, but also
run out the clock.
Yeah. And then, the guy made a fucking unbelievable kick. That was the longest kick in SEC history.
Yeah.
Eli Drinkowitz, terrible game management. But you got the win. You're 3-0.
When you got a big fat.
I'm on Mizzou's win total over. So
yeah.
I'll take everything I can get. If you make 60 fucking 2-yard field goals, whatever it was.
Tough break for K-State there.
Yeah.
Shout out to NC Nick.
I like that game.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
99th meeting between the two.
It looked cool, man. It was like ran in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Just looked like the old big
12 football. Yeah. Nick calling Luther Burden to go off, and he did.
Luther Burden's a fucking stud, and I think we need to get you some fucking what's that?
Sudafed. Give me some Afrin. Give me some Claritin,
cocaine,
Coke, anything.
I locked up. If you listen to the morning show, Boise State minus 13 against North Dakota. 42-18 final score. Easy cash. Boise got the first win of the season. Patty C.
Yeah.
Liberty's really good. Jamie Chad. Buffalo's really bad, but also Liberty's really good. They dropped 55 on Buffalo. I think
Liberty's been really good,
but Chadwell's getting that thing rolling, man. They're going to go undefeated, aren't they?
They very well could.
They're going to go undefeated.
Need to take a peek at the rest of that schedule, but I feel like they're easily the best team in the conference.
And if you're a UMass fan, it was Heartbreak Hotel tonight because you got a big time drive to go up 17-13 with like 1 minute left, and Eastern Michigan catches a crazy pass and a absolutely terrible tackling job by the cornerback of UMass, and Eastern Michigan wins 19-17. Missed the extra point and everything. That game was fucking insane.
By the way, Liberty has FIU next. Mikey Mack.
Did you see what he did today?
I did. And then Sam Houston after a bye week. And what Sam Houston did to keep it close against both BYU and Air Force makes Sam Houston look like a pretty dangerous team for Liberty.
Yeah. Ball State beat the piss out of Indiana State. Utah wins. Notre Dame didn't cover, so I was right on CMU, but Iowa dropped 41 points today. They ran it up. This was a close game. Iowa running it up, doing a favor for Brian Ferentz.
Getting on the better side of that 25 point per game average requirement.
Iowa's at Penn State next week. Do you think that's going to be a game?
Iowa at Penn State?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How could you not? Yeah. Iowa is easily the best team in the West.
Yeah.
And they're probably better than Penn State.
I think there's like a big gap, I feel like. Even though Iowa doesn't look as good as normal, I feel like.
Iowa looks fine to me.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Although, struggling with Iowa State looking a little worse after their loss to Ohio today. Still, I think Iowa's pretty good. It's going to be a good matchup. I think Penn State is very happy to have them in State College.
Rutgers 35, Virginia Tech 16. Patty C. During the during the Rutgers preview.
Boy, they suck.
Whatever it was, ACC preview. I think you said I was crazy for saying no. Rutgers is going to beat them. They didn't just beat them; they beat their ass.
They did beat their
21-point lead at one point in this game.
Well, Schiano, this is the year that it seems like he's gotten it together. I guess 5 and 7. Or were they 6 and 6 last year?
No, I think 5 and 7. I locked them up on the over last year. They came through for me. I locked them up again this year. I'm on my way. Well, I can't cash the ticket yet.
Gavin Wimsatt being healthy and playing good football, that's a factor. And Schiano is finally paying off. The same way that it took Chip Kelly a little longer than I thought it would. It's taken Schiano a couple more years than I thought it would. Well, what is he, year 4 now at Rutgers?
Yeah, but I also think he have to battle through COVID. That sets you back, man. If you're like a year 1 coach, that shit is terrible.
That's true.
Virginia Tech sucks. Oregon State waxed San Diego State. I watched this game, but DJU did throw a couple picks. But the Aztecs normally have a pretty good defense. But 26-9, Oregon State gets it done against San Diego State.
Throw a pass to an offensive
That's
tackle.
True. Offensive tackle getting a touchdown reception. We're on board with that.
Yeah, they remain America's sweetheart in our hearts.
Like if we're being honest, and I'm going to release my database top 25 rankings, I think this week, because I'm sick of all this other shit. If we're being honest, I think Notre Dame looks one of the most complete teams in the country. But you know who else does? Duke.
Oh, Duke. Yeah. Duke. Yeah. Cannot be written off at this point.
Duke. I mean, I know it's Northwestern, but they still waxed them.
Yeah. Physical and dynamic at the same time.
And they beat Clemson.
And disciplined. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Duke might have. They got 2 Power 5 wins. Shit, Michigan hasn't played a Power 5 this year.
Yeah, Michigan has some question marks.
I'm just saying, we got to grade the fucking resumes here. Georgia looked like shit today. You know what I mean? Like Georgia got it done. Now they should be credited because they got it done. But you can't come away from that saying they deserve to be number 1 in the nation, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, give South Carolina some credit. They're a decent team, but
they're 1 and 2.
Yeah, they got waxed by North Carolina. So
yeah. I mean, they're decent enough.
UNC
they're
looking
5.
decent though.
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah.
Oklahoma waxed Tulsa. My blue blood parlay didn't hit because Alabama, but if you bet these ones solo, which I did, I mean, you should have cashed. Petty, let's talk about Alabama, South Florida, because Alabama plays the first group of 5 on the road, and this in 20 years since the last time they played a group of 5 on the road, they went to Hawaii and lost.
Yeah.
Well, they did like a half road game. They're like, we're going to go play at an NFL stadium where we can pack half the crowd. And damn, this was 3-3, like late in the third.
Alabama really,
they shouldn't be ranked. They should not be in the top 25.
I think they benefited from a cloud delay because
they should not be in the top 25. They have a win against Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
And a win against South Florida. I watched that game today. They suck on offense.
Yeah. I mean, I could have told you that.
Iowa is better on offense than Alabama is.
Ty Simpson ended up being the guy who led them to the 2 touchdowns they got at the end of the game. Is he the answer moving forward?
Milroe's their best option. I don't know what the fuck Saban's doing.
Yeah, I agree. I think Milroe is a several-year project to turn into a pro, though. But what?
Dude, they play Ole Miss next week. Are they going to beat Ole Miss?
It's in Tuscaloosa, right?
It's in Tuscaloosa.
But they'll probably get that, but I can't say that with any level of certainty.
Do you think they should be ranked?
Probably not, based on performance. If we're being honest right now,
and resume.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Western Kentucky played South Florida and looked a lot better than Alabama did.
Well, let me ask you this: Middle Tennessee, what have they done? Because they got waxed by Alabama.
Nothing.
Okay, so
they beat Murray State.
Yeah, I mean, no, I can't say Alabama's done anything to impress me at this point.
Dude, this is by far the worst Saban teams I've ever looked. And it's funny. I was watching the studio here, and we had a couple people in here, and they're like, "Why didn't he go get a quarterback in the portal?" I was like, "No, he did. He got Tyler Buckner." But they tried to get Van Dyke.
Buckner has some athleticism.
He sucks,
but he's not accurate at all. Milroe is just a more athletic version.
South Florida was a fucking 1-win team. Now I know Galesh is going to they're going to probably win like 4 or 5 games this year, maybe even 6.
Yeah.
But
they're getting there.
That's slowly. A horrible performance.
But it wasn't Galesh's offense, which is what he's renowned for. They put up 3 points.
That was a horrible performance by Alabama.
Yeah. You said at the beginning of the season, it's more likely that they lose 3 than go undefeated. That's looking like that might happen.
I'm thinking about. I mean, the only problem is if you're an Alabama hater that's a fan of some team in the SEC West. Alabama picked a great year to be shitty because the rest of the conference is shitty.
They're not that good. Yeah.
Like even at A&M, I'm like, I don't know. I would favor A&M, but I wouldn't shock me if Bama won that.
Yeah. Tennessee looks obviously flawed after today.
Well, I was on the Florida Gators. We could talk about that. Let's go. Gator. Come on.
Tennessee, GBO Farms. I know you're out there somewhere.
He's probably pissed drunk right now. So Petty C, was Florida more impressive than Georgia today?
Yeah,
I think so. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was on the Gators money line. I was on the Gators with the points. It's a fucking good day there.
There you go.
Georgia survives. Georgia plays UAB next. Oh my God.
The Trent Dover experience.
UAB got their ass kicked today by Louisiana. And they dressed up the score. Trent Dilfer got like 20 points in the final like 3 minutes of that game. That was a 42-3 game when we were watching that, for majority of the second half.
Yeah.
Man, that game sucks. So we won't know anything about Georgia next week or Michigan. No, Michigan. Does Michigan get Rutgers? I guess that's still the same as Georgia getting South Carolina. South Carolina's even better, probably.
We had dismissed the world's largest outdoor cocktail party as, an automatic Georgia win. That all of a sudden looking like a challenging game for Georgia.
A little bit.
I kind of want to favor Florida based on today. If I were to take the two teams,
because they were at the Swamp.
Yeah.
If it was at the Swamp, then I would
Georgia
say,
was because Tennessee would. But
Tennessee
Georgia was at home too.
Yeah.
So it's who has
you don't have to go into it. Like if you had to go to the Swamp, I would say maybe Florida would win. Nah, Jacksonville. No, I've been to that game. It's great game to go to. Get shit hammered.
Yeah.
But East Carolina sucks ass. Mike Houston rating right now 1 to 10. The most penalized team in the nation.
There it is.
Do you know?
Maybe rightfully so in your doghouse.
He had all off season to get a fucking quarterback. Got all these fucking guys. This guy can't complete a fucking pass.
Well, he can't hold on to a lead.
That's 17 of 31, 158 yards, 3 interceptions, including I think it was multiple pick sixes. I don't even fucking remember. He sucks. ECU had a double-digit lead at one point in the second half and squandered this thing, just like the Marshall game. He sucks. North Carolina beats Minnesota. I was wrong there.
Shellacks Minnesota.
Yeah. Minnesota's offense is terrible. Big week for the ACC. Is the ACC? So the Pac-12 is the best conference in college football. Patty C.
Yeah.
Is the ACC second best?
I think so.
Especially when you add in that Notre Dame is halfway in the ACC.
You can't include Notre Dame as a football team.
Well, I'm saying they play all the ACC teams.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean.
So that helps your schedule.
It will, but it won't give it. ACC can't take credit.
So Florida State's their best team. They look like ass today, but Duke's might be their best team.
Yeah, I mean Clemson until dethroned.
There's a couple other ones. North Carolina 3-0 against 3 decent opponents. They didn't have any UABs in there or UT Martins.
Put it this way: North Carolina played South Carolina as well as Georgia played South Carolina. So is North Carolina as good as Georgia?
North Carolina played them better.
Yeah.
The airport gets it done against UConn. Mike McIntyre, my boy. Now we love Jim Mora too, friend of the program, but Mike Mack, baby, he should be 4-0. Remember that if he didn't lose the opener,
he's doing it.
I know.
I didn't actually expect him to turn the damn thing around. But he's doing it.
I didn't hit on
turning that 747 around.
I didn't hit on my total in A&M. I mean, they covered the spread, but I also bet the total. ULM sucks. Tulane beat the piss out of Southern Miss. Tulane had Michael Pratt played in that Ole Miss game.
Yeah.
I think they'd
be in the college.
They're one of
playoff.
the most impressive teams this year.
Yeah.
And I mean on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Very legitimate team.
I would argue that on the line of scrimmage, they're better than what I've seen from that undefeated UCF team and the Cincy team that made the playoffs.
Yeah. No, they would challenge for the SEC West and maybe even the
Michael
entire
Pratt
SEC.
is healthy. They would have beat Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Cal goes down. So Cal goes down 17-0 to Idaho. Idaho's like a top 10 FCS. And you're thinking, holy shit. Then they score 31 unanswered.
Yeah.
Don't give up another point.
Yeah. I thought that was a pretty bad look for Cal, obviously, and for Auburn, but Cal did get it figured out.
Answered the call.
Yeah.
Ohio State waxed Western Kentucky. Washington 41-7. Michigan State sucks ass. Is Washington the best team in the country?
Dude, all of the teams that no one's like talking about in the Pac-12 right now are putting on massive dominant
no one's
wins.
talking Washington State. The Apple Cup's going to be amazing this year.
Washington State.
The final State. Apple Cup. The final fucking Apple Cup.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then Oregon State, obviously no one's talking about.
Utah still handling business.
UCLA beat the piss out of North Carolina Central. Should have been playing Michigan. Yeah. Washington State beat the piss out of Northern Colorado. I guess that doesn't mean anything. I lost a boatload of money on Biff Poggi not covering 16 fucking points. Or sorry, they lost by 16. I had 9. UCF waxed Nova. Even Middle Tennessee only beat Murray State, who's a bad FCS, by 21. We covered on Murray State. JMU 16, Troy 14.
Hey-o.
The Dukes, I got to give it to you. A little bit of a horseshoe up their ass because Troy can't make a field goal, but at the same time, man, they're getting good wins, man. They just jump right up to the FBS last year and this year. They lose their quarterback Centeo to the XFL or whatever the fuck league he chose. And they're still rolling. Great win. Great fucking win for James Madison on the road.
It doesn't get
Troy.
much easier.
Terrell was on JMU.
Boom.
Shout out to that. Yes. Right. And dude, I mean,
road win there. They got to go to Logan next week to play Utah State.
They're going to beat them because they're fucking cowards.
We'll see. Night game there. But then South Alabama. That's in Harrisonburg. I mean,
yeah, we had a lock battle, by the way. Me and Nick were on Troy. You're on JMU.
Boom.
All Troy had to do was make a damn field goal. I felt like the whole fourth quarter they were inside that JMU 30. It's like, oh, we're gonna get this. No, JMU held strong.
Critical intentional grounding at the end of that game pushed them out of field goal range, and they had to throw the Hail Mary. Didn't work out for them.
Samford, Auburn. No, I'm not gonna talk. Miami, Ohio. Boy, did the MAC show up. Ohio beats Iowa State. You could argue Toledo should have beat Illinois in the opener. And then if you throw in the fact that Northern Illinois beat Boston College, Northern Illinois looked better than fucking Florida State. The Miami, Ohio Redhawks get it done against the Cincinnati Bearcats. Patty C, are you still feeling confident on your over? So you got the Pitt win that you thought was going to be a loss on the schedule. But now you got the loss against Miami, Ohio that you thought was going to be a win.
Well, what concerns me,
this game was fantastic, by the way. This was a fucking great game to watch. Continue. I'm sorry.
What concerns me is the fold in the second half of the Pittsburgh game that Cincinnati demonstrated. And then, staying kind of in second gear all throughout this Miami game. I kind of knew it was going to happen. The Pitt game coming home. I think they had Miami. They won 16 in a row against Miami, Ohio. They probably just assumed they were going to win this one, and probably looking ahead to Oklahoma, the Big 12 opener next week in Nippert. And
the rivalry's dead even now.
You gotta love it.
And next year it's at Miami, Ohio, right. Oxford, baby.
Cincinnati will get back on track, but it is a great story. Even as a Cincinnati fan, I love to see an old school rivalry stay competitive, and a team that hadn't won in 16 years. That probably just made Miami, Ohio season. Right
Chuck
there.
Martin, congrats.
Nicely done.
How about Toledo? Also, they beat San Jose State. This was a game we fucking handicapped this perfectly on Wednesday. We said, why are they giving up 7? All right, maybe we make Toledo a 3-4 point favorite. Toledo wins 21-17. It's a perfect fucking analysis right there.
Yeah.
Shout out to the MAC though.
The reason I'm not super scared about Cincinnati is because while the Big 12 was the deepest conference last year, it is struggling.
It is struggling a lot.
And a lot of the teams on Cincy's
That's a great
schedule.
Segue for South Alabama 33, Oklahoma State 7.
Yowzers. That's one that'll put your ass on the hot seat right there.
No, Gundy's been there forever.
Gundy's been on the hot seat forever, though. I mean, not really on the hot seat, but he's been in the doghouse.
Never had a fucking losing season, I feel like.
And yet still in the doghouse.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
South Alabama 33, Oklahoma State 7. I was on the money line with South Alabama. Hope you tailed.
What a play! I'm scared of South Alabama now.
Dude, they play you in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's go. It's gonna be fantastic.
K Womack's team.
Yeah,
he's a hell of a coach.
Told you, man.
He's doing something.
Carter Bradley, former MAC quarterback at Toledo. North Texas beats La Tech in the shit bowl, 40-37. First win for Eric Morris. Congrats. Louisiana rolled UAB. Nebraska, Matt Rule got his first win against Northern Illinois. It wasn't pretty, but opened it up in the second half. And yes, I see the chat talking about Holy Cross. Yes, easy play. I hope you tailed me on Southern Utah too. Patty C, the SEC did hit the road. All right, so you had Bama played a half road game and struggled, right?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt went out to another half road game in an NFL stadium where there was like 17 people. I watched this whole game. And somehow UNLV had a 7-point lead. This game was fucking hilarious. Anyone that watched this game, this was hilarious. So UNLV gets a 7-point. It was like tied up. They get a 7-point lead with like a minute and a half left. Right? Vandy battles all the way down the field, ties it up. UNLV then, it looks like the game's pretty. They're either going to make just a terrible pass for an interception. Like the guy clearly doesn't see the linebacker, but they're in a spot where they can like run out the clock,
afford to
send it to overtime.
Yeah.
No, throws it right to the fucking linebacker.
To the UNLV linebacker.
No, the Vandy linebacker.
Okay.
So UNLV
got it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like there's like 35 seconds left or something.
Yeah.
UNLV uses all their timeouts. Vandy misses the kick. Right? UNLV gets the ball, throws like a 60-yard pass, hits the game-ending field goal.
Beautiful.
Fucking hilarious game. Like the final 2 minutes of this game.
And no one saw it.
Yeah, and no one saw it. They don't play at Sam Boyd. They're fucking idiots. And so that was another half away game for Vanderbilt.
SEC taking their lumps top to
that's
bottom.
What I'm saying. No one can say they're the best fucking conference. I don't give a shit if Georgia wins the national championship. This conference isn't good this year. Rice 59, Texas Southern 7. The Owls continue to roll. Syracuse beats Purdue. Shout out to the Orangemen.
Orangemen are like way under everyone's radar.
What's happening in Syracuse near Rocky Long?
Yeah.
Who do they get next? Are they legit with Garrett with the shredder?
The shreds. Was it Jason?
Army. They get Army.
That's a good game.
They're gonna be 4-0.
Where's that being played?
The Carrier. I think the Carrier Dome. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, they could win that, and then they host Clemson the following week. Clemson coming off the Florida State game.
They're gonna be 5-0.
They could get Clemson. That would be crazy.
Fucking tap dancing with fucking Dino Babers, Rocky Long. We're gonna start a band. Ole Miss. Hey, I mean, you beat Tulane without Pratt. That's not your fault. Pratt didn't play. If anything, it's fucking great for you guys. And then beat the piss out of Georgia Tech. Nice win for the SEC. That's a win against the ACC that we forgot.
Did they end up beating the piss out? That was a decently competitive game for a lot of it. I feel like
48-23.
Okay, yeah, they pulled away.
Michigan, Bowling Green. Okay, don't need to talk about that. BYU. I do believe me and NC Nick are gonna have that conversation here because I feel like I think BYU's alive in the Big 12 race, man.
Although that wasn't Arkansas hitting the road, that was BYU hitting the road.
Yeah.
And getting it done over an SEC West team.
Yeah, that's right. Came in there. The Mormons came in.
Yeah.
Fayetteville. And they fucking got a good win.
I mean, right now,
if you had to rank, give me your Big 12 rankings right now.
I mean, let me take a peek at these.
Because I can tell you one thing. I'm not in on Texas anymore. I think the way I saw Alabama play today, am I even impressed that Texas won in Tuscaloosa? I guess it's a road trip against a team that will have a winning record. So it's a good win.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like a great win. Now I don't think it's a great win. And folks, if you didn't, and dude, ESPN sucks. All right. Wyoming didn't have their starting quarterback. They didn't mention this at all. Andrew Peasley did not play. They're showing these highlights and like Texas breaks it open in the fourth. It's like it was 10-10 in the fucking fourth quarter. against Wyoming with their backup quarterback. Andrew Peasy didn't play. I watched the whole game.
Yeah.
Dude, I know they got Baylor and Baylor looks like trash. So I can't say that but I don't know that I'm buying in on Texas all the way here.
They have Oklahoma in a few weeks, and I'm leaning Oklahoma in the revenge spot from last year based on Oklahoma beating up on some pretty inferior competition.
I don't even know how to gauge Oklahoma because it's like SMU game was somewhat close.
Yeah, but SMU
Arkansas State and
today.
Tulsa are like two of the worst 5 teams in the nation. I actually believe Arkansas State and Tulsa would be 500 in the Big Sky or Missouri Valley.
Yeah.
Probably even below 500.
They're not good, but Oklahoma did absolutely throttle both of them.
It was an easy handicap though. I bet the shit out of Oklahoma against Tulsa. Tulsa didn't even have their starting quarterback. Tulsa sucks with their starting quarterback, but they didn't even have their starting quarterback.
SMU, what did SMU do today? They annihilated.
They played Prairie View and beat the piss out.
Yeah, that's true.
You learned nothing.
That means nothing.
Kentucky beats Akron. Kentucky looks good, but they play nobody. Backyard brawl. If you caught me on VEASAN this morning, did lock up the West Virginia Mountaineers. Let's talk about your boy Pat Narduzzi.
Is that seat heating up?
I mean, I don't know, but they were supposed to be a lot better. 1-2,
and now all the chatter about him going to
Michigan State. Michigan State fans are very lucky because if he's 3-0 right now, that thing is done.
Yeah.
They're hosting North Carolina next week.
Pitt?
Yeah.
They'll lose. They will lose.
They could fuck with them too, though.
They probably could. Games in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they could fuck with them. Texas 31, Wyoming 10. I'm telling you that score they added on late. They got like a late pick 6. That 10-10 in the fourth fucking quarter.
Yeah. I mean
10-10 in the
Wyoming
fourth quarter with their
the
backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a lot of that game.
New Mexico State, Jerry Kill. Getting it done against New Mexico. The Rio Grande rivalry. One step closer to cashing my over. All right, we gotta hurry up and get the fuck.
Let's do this.
Sacramento State. Sac State. There's a blemish for the Pac-12. Yeah. Sac State 30, Stanford 23. Big Sky represent.
Troy Taylor getting owned by his own old team.
Oregon beat the piss out of Hawaii. I was way wrong on Houston. I felt good about this play too, man.
But it legitimizes Colorado a little bit. The fact that they TCU whooped on Houston.
Yeah.
36.
So honestly, I think you go Pac-12 1, ACC 2.
Yeah. Big 10 3.
SEC or Big 10?
I said Big 10 before SEC.
But we haven't seen Michigan play anybody.
Ohio State. I just feel like Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and Iowa are probably pretty good. Whereas in the SEC, I think Georgia's probably pretty good. You know,
am I crazy to think? Is this a ridiculous statement that I would take Iowa to beat Alabama right now? Because Iowa would just shut down their fucking run game.
It's not that crazy because we've seen
Iowa would shut down their run game.
Yeah.
And then they can't throw a fucking pass. Did you watch the Alabama passing game today?
They sucked. Now it was a torrential downpour for a lot of that in the early going, but they once it stopped a little later, they still weren't moving the rock. No, they suck. Alabama's got some real quarterback issues they got to work out.
Clemson scored 48. They beat the piss out of Florida Atlantic. Texas State. The Sun Belt. Texas State looking like, is that Georgia Tech versus Cumberland? 77-34 against Jackson State.
That's what the touchdown at the end called back.
Yeah, they
were trying to go for that 80 spot.
And then
TJ Kinney.
I mean, unbelievable. I mean, I feel like everyone in the Sun Belt better be on watch. Patty C. Then Colorado.
Watch him go down to Buffalo. Oh no, it's a guy out of Buffalo.
Make you sweat enough?
They probably should have lost this game.
Yes, absolutely.
They did. I mean, Travis Hunter gets knocked out early on.
It's a huge
the whole
factor.
internet saying cheap shot. It's a rivalry game.
Come on.
It's a rivalry game.
I want Shedeur Sanders poking someone in the eye.
He did that, I think, because of that, right? Wasn't that?
Don't try and make excuses for.
What are you talking about? I'm not saying it. I'm saying I'm okay. Look, these teams hate each other.
I'm with you. I think you're right. Yes. allow some chippiness. This is like every game in the 90s between Florida State and Miami had a pregame brawl, and we never fucking.
And I still think that crackback block bullshit. They called on Horton, the awesome receiver for Colorado State, who has 7 million catches tonight, was bullshit. I mean, I understand it's accurate to your shitty rules.
No,
that rule sucks.
What I don't understand is like the crackback block. It's supposed to be when a player isn't looking. Like,
how are you supposed to know
if he's running?
He did not know. Look, I wanted Colorado to win because I'm now going to cash my over. I'm pretty sure on the Buffs this year. That's 3 wins. How the fuck was he supposed to know when the linebacker's going to be able to see?
Well, what's idiotic is like he came off his block, which was like 3 degrees off of the path of the linebacker.
But he was blocking. He was with the defensive back first.
Yeah, he was.
So how's he supposed to be able to gauge that? This rule's terrible. We are destroying football.
Like, it's one thing
day by day in this fucking country.
It's bad enough like on a punt return, like that you can't. Hit a block.
Probably cost that team the game. Now, I don't know. Maybe Colorado wins it. They stop the 2-point conversion. But damn it, let it settle it on the fucking field, man. You stupid referees.
A really bad.
And that kid played his ass off. That guy's a fucking stud. And it's like he's got to sit there and deal with that all week. Oh, I didn't know when was he looking?
Yeah. You got to guess when the dude who is running right at you isn't looking at you. He's looking 1 inch to the right of you.
And Horton's blocking the wide out. I mean, the defensive back too.
Yeah.
So he gets done with the defensive back
and he says,
and he chips
this
the
guy's
linebacker.
A bigger threat because he's running faster. And now I get penalized for that.
What are we doing to the sport?
Yeah.
What are we doing to the sport?
Terrible.
That
Colorado did have a clutch ass drive, 98 yards for Shedeur Sanders. Like you mentioned,
he's a stud. He's a fucking
John
stud.
Elway, drive moment there.
John Elway 2.0. All right. Let's go. Except he doesn't look like a fucking horse. John Elway looks like a horse. You know what I mean?
Right. But they're both in Colorado. So
I believe in this theory that the Broncos only won Super Bowls because John Elway and Shannon Sharp both look like
when you resemble your mascot, when you embody your mascot.
That's like Bum Phillips as a Texan.
That's right.
An oil tycoon.
That's right. And like Jack Lambert
play into it
as a Pittsburgh roughneck. Yeah.
When you play into it, it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
It's fucking perfect. Folks, I want to tell you, you're probably wondering what the hell you're listening to. That the college football experience is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. All right. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. All right. So stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 different users researching the Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use the promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, as Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite football team all season long. You can win up to 20 times the amount of money you went to in a single game by going 5 for 5. It's a fantasy game, but you can win real fucking money. All right. Look, all you have to do is make a pickup selection. This is they're giving away $100,000 this week. All you have to do is make a pick'em selection that includes Tua's passing yards, Tua Tagovailoa for the Dolphins, 277.5. Select whether you think higher or lower. And Underdog's going to select 10 random winners to give out $10K to each of them. What a deal! So watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little extra cash over on Underdog's mobile app, UnderdogFantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. I'm still bothered about that call. Yeah. I'm still just like, we have ruined the sport. Like the sport is not as good as it was, man.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's you were able to be able to
It's just too many flags. That shit, like you want to cut down the game time? Come on. Yeah. And I love how we're watching the game. Right. And look, I get it. Player safety. You could say player safety all day. Right.
Yeah.
But that guy is going to have to deal with that loss for something that is, I don't think he knew he was in the wrong when that happened.
Right.
It was a judgment call because you can't predict. The game's too fast.
Yeah.
So we're going to have that guy feeling like shit all week. Right. And at the same time, we're watching this. ESPN has a screen
Yeah.
So I have 30 TVs here at the studio. One of the screens when the other game is done,
just
goes to like a default loop, right?
Yeah.
And one of the loops is it's showing like all the great plays, a touchdown run by the Cooper Cup scores, and
a softball. Like home
it's
run.
cutting to all the different sports, and it's showing like gigantic KOs in UFC and boxing, and you're just sitting there like, wait a second, so. We're
able to glorify this. Your default screensaver glorifies this guy getting his brain.
This guy takes a kick to the face and he just looks like he's on another fucking planet.
Yeah.
Right. And then you show a KO in a boxing fight. And we're sitting here judging this fucking guy, ruining the game. We're ruining the fucking game because of a little nonsense play where he thought he was in the right.
Everyone sucks. Everyone sucks in our world.
It's true. You're listening to the college experience where everything fucking sucks. Fresno State 29, Arizona State 0. Domination. Oh my God. Every time we watch the play from this game, they have 8 interceptions. This was like
8 turnovers.
Who was playing? Was David? Did Davis Brin go to Tempe? What happened? Every play. This is easy. Jeff Tedford. That guy's. How the hell is he not at a Power 5?
Well, that's a good question.
Oh, he loses Jake Haener, Josh Kelly, his whole fucking team, Jalen Cropper.
Boom. Reload. Let me ask you
this.
They
just beat Purdue at Purdue, Arizona State at Arizona State. I don't care that Arizona State's in a rebuild.
Yeah.
A 29-0 ass whooping.
Shellacking. Yeah. I mean, look, of the remaining group of 5 teams that have a potential playoff berth which in this year is more possible because there aren't so many dominant Power 5 teams. They're probably right up there, right?
Fresno? You know who's going to bite them though?
Who's that?
Wyoming. I'm convinced Wyoming.
Where's that game being played?
Laramie.
Laramie. Yeah, that could happen.
That's going to get them. It's going to get them.
Either way, you can't write them off. You can't just guarantee that's going to happen. Fresno looking damn good.
Kansas was asleep at the wheel. They still beat Nevada, but asleep at the wheel.
It took a long time.
It took a long fucking time. I did lock up Arizona minus the points against UTEP. Dana Dimble's going to get fired. And I recommend they go out and make a ballsy hire like Nick Rolovich.
Boom.
All right, go get our boy Nick Rolovich.
We know though that Texas teams like to go get former Texas, especially like group of 5.
If Holgerson gets fired, should he just go to El Paso?
Yes.
I think that's just a perfect match. I've been to El Paso, did some stand up in El Paso. Right. I just think the Roy Munson image in El Paso is just, it's perfect.
He's close enough to like the Albuquerque, like, Breaking Bad vibe that UTEP's right there. It works. It's natural.
And that's our week. Patty C, what were the biggest winners? Let's go game balls. Let's go game balls and get the hell out of here. I've been at the studio so long.
Oh boy. Let me pull up
my top game ball. What is the best win of the day?
Once again, Michael Penix leading the week in passing. Dude. He's gonna pass for 10,000 yards this year.
What is the best win of the day? I mean, I feel like the best is it Washington?
Oh, game balls, not keggers. Okay, game balls. Maybe
South
Florida.
Alabama. That's my first game ball. Dominating performance in Stillwater. 33-7.
Very nice. Very impressive. I'm gonna say Gators.
I like Gators. That. That's good. Good, but I mean, they own Tennessee in the swamp.
Yeah. Ouch.
Second game ball. Man, I got 2 options here. You can go BYU or you can go West Virginia, because Neal Brown might have just saved his job today.
I like both of those. Where are you going?
I'm going. You know what? Dub V is going to be a player in the Big 12. I'm not saying they're going to make the Big 12 championship or something.
Sure, but
they're going to fuck up some teams.
Almost
they're
any
better
team.
than they did that without their starting. Garrett Green got knocked out. I mean, maybe that's why they won. I don't know, but they're good. They're better than people think. Dub V, second game ball.
I like that.
Shout out to Moneyline Mac, who was out there. He was sending me all these videos. Pissed drunk. He sent me a video of like a 60-year-old woman doing a keg stand.
Well, my experience has been pretty similar at West Virginia.
Yeah.
I like that picture with him with Huggy. I didn't realize Huggins was looks like he's like 6'10". He's a huge guy.
Yeah.
Game ball. This is tough.
You got to go BYU, right? Steal it. Go BYU.
All right, I'll take BYU. Go in
because that's a great fucking win, man. They're undefeated. I get it. Like they didn't have Rocket Sanders, Arkansas didn't, but who cares? You went into Fayetteville and you won. You're 3-0, and BYU's at Kansas next week. That game's underrated.
Yeah,
that game is underrated.
Yeah, that's a sleeper. Yeah. With all of the heat that's on next week's slate, that one's going to get overlooked, but that is a great game.
Yeah. What about dumpster fires? Let's do our 4 dumpster fires.
All right. Let's take a peek here.
I mean, Iowa State. I mean, I feel bad for Matt Campbell because the whole gambling probe. I feel like it's like rubbing Tabasco in his eyes to quote Kingpin, right? It's like I feel like it's unfair a little bit because it's like they're starting quarterback, they're starting running back, they're starting defensive tackle, and a bunch of other key players all aren't with the team. If you did that to most rosters,
almost any coach,
you would suck.
Yeah,
you would suck, especially if you do it. This happened in like they suspended him in like August. I mean, I know he might have known players were going to get suspended, but it doesn't matter. You don't just have the depth.
Yeah,
no,
this was like a week or two before the season. Tough break for Matt Campbell.
I mean, do we throw Iowa State in the dumpster fire? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I am not jumping on that bandwagon.
They played a good
Virginia
Ohio
Tech
team on the road. Pretty well.
I will say. Virginia Tech is that dumpster
Brent
fire.
Pry, he's lucky he's in year 2, and then he's got ties to the program because year 3, if he was having these struggles, he'd probably be gone. Even with the ties to the program, they got to get it together. I feel bad for Brent Pry, but they are a dumpster fire right now. I should give Cincinnati a dumpster fire for this week, but whatever. Rivalry game, things happen. I want to give Alabama a dumpster fire, but they won.
It's kind of tough, but I feel like, I mean, the USF was 1-11 last year.
If I have to give a dumpster fire,
I mean, Oklahoma State only put up 7 against South Alabama. Mike Gundy's still starting 35 different quarterbacks.
Are you taking Oklahoma State?
No, I'm saying I gave mine. My first one.
Who was yours?
It was just, what did I just say? What the fuck did I just say? Yeah, Virginia Tech is number 1.
I'm taking Oklahoma State. That's a pure dumpster fire.
Okay.
Right now.
My number 2. I mean, I almost want to say Arizona State. You didn't put up a fucking point, and they had like 8 fucking. How many interceptions were in that game?
Against a group of
Every
5.
time we watched a play, it was a fucking Fresno State interception. Tedford, shit. Who's the defensive coordinator for Fresno? Dialing up some shit. I'm looking up the stats right now. But the problem is they started so many different. They played so many different quarterbacks.
Ooh, I'm gonna have a repeat dumpster fire.
What's that?
Stanford.
Oh yeah, Sac State, baby. Have fun, ACC. Give me Arizona State. So we'll throw some Pac-12 dumpster fires out there. Yeah. But what about UConn? Did get beat down by the airport at home.
Yeah.
0-3 to
Northeast
start.
Football is definitely not back right
Holy
now.
Cross though dominated today again. All right, folks, that's our plays. Be back Monday with CJ Sullivan. Bombs down under. I'm excited, dude. Who's the best team in college football, Petty C?
If I had to bet right now, who would win the whole damn thing?
Like who's playing the best that you've seen? I don't want the hypothetical because certain teams have a nice runway into the playoffs.
That's a really tough question to answer.
Like if Notre Dame and Ohio State play next week, you lean Notre Dame, right?
In South Bend, yes.
But you think Notre Dame looks like a better team so far?
Neutral, so yeah, I do.
I do too. I do too.
USC is in that conversation.
Really, with that defense?
Just
though?
because their offense is so explosive.
They haven't even played a road game yet. They're in the Michigan bin. I mean, true. USC dominated Stanford. Stanford just lost to Sac State.
But who has really proven something right now? Any team that has won a game,
Colorado.
The other team has looked like trash. At least like.
I mean, I'm saying
they've looked like.
Who's got
Colorado just needed to escape Colorado.
But I'm saying
State.
At least they beat 2 Power 5s.
Yeah, the resume is better than others, but it doesn't look like they're a championship team 100%. At all. 100%. They're going to get their ass kicked the next 2 weeks.
I don't know about the USC game. I think this week, yes. I think the USC game will be a game. I think Oregon's going to fuck up Colorado this week. But I'm saying at least they've beaten. Their resume's not atrocious.
They're a good team, but if I'm talking about who's the championship team right now, I mean, you could say Duke.
Duke looks really fucking
because Clemson's looked pretty damn good since. Kind of. You know who I would say?
Who's that?
Right now,
Washington.
Yeah, God, all those Pac-12s, Washington State, maybe Washington. You're gonna laugh at this, but I'm gonna say it, and I don't even know if I believe it. Maybe it is Washington, but Oklahoma. They've proven nothing, and they struggled against SMU.
They have played probably worse than Michigan's competition,
but they are fucking annihilating whoever they play for the most part. Look, certain teams don't do that. Alabama played a shitty.
True, but I even think USF. If I was setting a line, USF and Tulsa, I would lay 17 in USF right now.
Sure, I'm just saying Oklahoma is passing the eye test because every time I look up, they're scoring a touchdown. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
right?
Not against SMU, they weren't.
That's true. It took them a long time to get that going. So I don't know. I don't know to answer. It might be Washington. Who do you got? Who's your number one right now?
I mean, Notre Dame looks really fucking complete.
Yeah.
They look really fucking complete. I never thought I would say this.
They're balanced. They are. And Hartman hasn't even been forced to air it out yet, but 13 touchdowns and 0 interceptions through 4 games.
Washington's beat Michigan State and Boise. Notre Dame's only beaten NC State, so Washington's resume is better.
It might be Washington.
I mean, who else has quality wins? Texas beat Bama, and I think Wyoming's decent, but they didn't look good against Rice. Texas' resume is actually not terrible.
Yeah,
but
Texas is solid.
I still don't think they look like, after watching today with a backup quarterback at Wyoming.
Yeah,
I'm not in on Texas. Yeah.
When you think about like Washington's offense, it's so much more potent week to week than Texas is.
They beat Texas in the bowl game last year too. I think they beat it like decent,
pretty handily,
right?
I'd have to
I don't know. I don't remember, but. Syracuse. Dick Erzberger says Syracuse. Rocky Long. Folks, this is the college football experience. We appreciate you tuning in. Man, we've been here all day. We got to roll. This was a great Saturday, though. I feel like it was a lot of fun watching all the games.
That bowl game with Texas last year.
Including some FCS. Ferris State. Proving that they're worthy.
Almost beat
Montana at Washington Grizzly.
Yeah.
And shout out to Weehawk because Western Carolina with a huge win over Eastern Kentucky. And then Holy Cross getting it done.
Washington beat Texas by 7 last year in the bowl game.
Yeah. D. Bettis, I took the under on Notre Dame. I'll eat that all day, man. But to be fair, Navy doesn't have a win against a Power 5. Navy doesn't have a win against the an FBS. Tennessee State is an FCS, and Central Michigan doesn't have a win against an FBS.
Yeah,
they beat NC State, which East Carolina does all the fucking time. All right, but no, I honestly think they look complete. They look pretty fucking complete. And my buddy Dano Carter, big time Notre Dame fan, a little concerned. He thinks they look very complete, but a little concerned about the defensive line.
I don't think they've shown like a super explosion, which it would be nice for them to have. I don't think it's an absolute necessity. I think they've shown enough offensively, but for some of these explosives, like USC might just run them off the field.
I need to see USC play defense.
Yeah, it's true.
Because guess what? San Jose State lost to Toledo.
But if they get into a shootout, right, with Notre Dame, and Notre Dame can't stop them, then I think USC might be able to just pull away from them. But Notre Dame is playing better defense than USC. So
I think USC's offensive line is going to be able to push around. I'm sorry, Notre Dame's offensive line is going to push around USC's.
Yeah, the Notre Dame will get theirs. Yeah. I'm saying that game might be 45-43 USC.
Yeah, let's get out of here because I can barely talk. Folks, this is the college football experience. Give Patty C a follow on Twitter, Patty C831. I'm on Twitter at the Colby D. The college football experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Until next time, folks. This is the college football experience. Monday morning, bottom line bombs. And pick Dundee. Bombs down under, we're calling it. Until next time, this is the college football experience. Week 3 reaction show. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot.